As we've reported, the economy remains the biggest issue for voters this election cycle. In an interview with 60 Minutes airing Monday night, Kamala Harris was asked about her agenda.
You want to expand the child tax credit.
Yes, I do.
You want to give tax breaks to first-time home buyers.
Yes.
And people starting small businesses.
Correct.
How are you going to pay for that?
My economic plan would strengthen America's economy. His would weaken it.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
According to an analysis from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's plans could increase the federal deficit by trillions of dollars. The central estimate is that Harris's agenda could add $3.5 trillion to the national debt by 2035. Trump's plans could add $7.5 trillion in that same time. Marc Goldwein joins me now. Marc is the Senior Vice President and Senior Policy Director of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. Marc, with the deficit and the debt, these are problems that are going to go on whether the candidates do anything to solve them or not. So can you just give us the baseline? Where do things stand now with the debt and deficit before we talk about what the next president might do?
Right. So our national debt now is as large as the economy. In a couple of years, it's going to hit a new record, exceeding World War II levels. Meanwhile, we're borrowing $2 trillion a year of deficits, and our interest payments are more than we spend on defense or on Medicare.
And what economic impact does that have, or might it have if it gets worse?
Yeah, so when you have really high deficits, it can cause inflation like we saw recently. But over time, what we expect is that this high debt pushes up interest rates, whether it's on your mortgage or your car loan. It slows economic and wage growth over time. And it boosts those interest payments the government is paying, so they have less money for everything else. In the extreme case, if our debt continues to spiral and grow faster than the economy, we could end up with some kind of fiscal crisis, like a financial crisis caused by too much national debt.
So when you looked at the policies from the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign, let's give me a sense of on both of them, what are the big new contributors to that picture you just outlined in terms of the size of the debt and deficit?
Sure. So both would extend large parts of the 2017 tax cuts. Donald Trump far more. Both would do things on housing and long-term care. Vice President Harris also has a lot on things like paid leave and child care, bigger child tax credit. President Trump has sort of a no taxes on everything policy. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security. These things add up. Both candidates do have some offsets, but they don't nearly cover the costs.
On the question of Donald Trump and those tax cuts, what the former president's supporters say is, well, when he cut taxes in 2017, revenue went up. It helped voters understand what that means for revenue to go up and why, with respect to the debt and deficit, that's not the whole picture.
Yeah, when we cut taxes, actually, revenue went down, and then they started rising again from that lower level. That's expected because we're not cutting more taxes each year. It's sort of a one-time lowering of the base of taxes. The issue is we need all the taxes we're projected to have and then some just to finance our spending. So if we cut $2, $4, $8 trillion of taxes, we need that much more in spending cuts just to stop the debt from getting even worse than it already is.
And when you talk about offsets, help people understand what that means. And do either of the candidates have offsets that are anything more than kind of a drop in the bucket?
They have trillions of offsets. It's real. President Trump wants to do big tariffs, especially a 10% universal tariff, and some modest spending cuts and cuts to tax credits. Vice President Harris wants to do big tax increases on corporations and high-income individuals and households. They'll cover trillions of dollars, but after it's all said and done, we estimate President Trump would add $7.5 trillion to the national debt, and Vice President Harris would add $3.5 trillion.
So considerably more. With both tariffs and taxes on corporations, do those operate the same in every year, or do the entities that are getting the high tariffs and the higher tax rates find ways to kind of get around them, and therefore they maybe don't help with the debt and deficit picture as much as maybe some of the partisans might claim?
That's a great question. Anytime you raise taxes, you are going to train a new generation of lawyers and accountants to figure out ways around them. What we find with the tariff revenue is those really do start to taper off some because supply chains adjust over time. with corporate taxes, the revenue will keep rising, but to your point, it probably will rise at a somewhat slower rate as businesses get more clever.
Marc Goldwein from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. Thank you so much, Marc.
Thanks for having me.